Hello, I'm on my phone again. I did not want to deal with the audio on the computer, whatever, setup, the microphone didn't work, whatever. I don't care. So I had a lot happen to me the other day. This is a story time. I'm really peeved about this, and sometimes in fast food this does happen. Now, the basic setup is in the place I work at least, the basic setup is steamer, which is basically maybe so steamer is the person who puts like meats and stuff in tacos, and then there's a stuffer who puts like lettuce, cheese, and stuff in tacos, and then there's expediter who puts the stuff in the bag, counts the bag, makes sure it's right, and hands it out to the proper person to hand it out the window and or up front. Most of the time, the expediter just hands it to the person up front, calls their name, waits for them to come. But in the window, you are supposed to hand it to the person who is doing the window. Another flaw that happens a lot of the time, and that happens to scheduling, is because there's not that many people, but that's okay, is the stuffer will often expedite, which is not really that hard to do in between two. And it can be if you're like me and can't fucking read, but that's about it. That's easier. Now, there's two people online. There's me, and we're gonna call him GC because he's a good coworker. And then there's manager and BC, who's bad coworker. Now, BC works on window, so she's supposed to stay there, take orders, cash people out, and stuff like that. Manager, she's supposed to be expediting. She's supposed to be taking the food out and whatever. I'm stuffing, and GC is steaming. Then I turn around one moment, she's there, manager's there, expediting, and next moment, she's not. I'm like, okay, maybe she's going to grab something. 30 minutes later, she's not there. And during these 30 minutes, I'm handing food out to the customers and cashing customers out. And during this process, you have to take your gloves off and take them off, put them on and take them off, which takes a while because, gloves are hard to put on. And that's already hard enough to just change your gloves, but I have to do that every single time there's an order. So I am stuffing, expediting, handing out orders, cashing people out, running back, grabbing gloves, putting new ones on, stuffing, expediting, handing things out, and then it just keeps going and keeps going. And that makes our times worse because technically I'm not supposed to be handing food out because I'm online. I'm the one who's supposed to be I'm not even supposed to move from line technically because I'm stuffing, which already irritated me a lot. So I noticed that BC was and BC and manager were talking to each other. So, and she's not taking any front orders, so I yell, BC, you got food. She goes, what? I said, BC, you have food. I am stuffing, or I'm working, or I'm, doing what I'm doing. I can't hand it out. So I'm calling for her. So she comes up to me. And she goes and basically tells me, if you do that again, in an irritated voice, might I add. She's very pissed off at me for, interrupting her conversation because she has to do her job because we're crowded and orders are now going to 12 minutes because I cannot cash people out and stuff, expedite, all that. And she says she'll leave if I do it again. And I said, okay, go ahead. I don't give a honestly, you're not doing anything anyway. You're not doing anything. Literally nothing. Then there's the manager goes, just do it. I'm like, just do. Fine, I'll do it. Times will go up. The amount of time. The big bosses will see it, and I will not care because I am not in charge. Manager is. She'll get in trouble. I won't. So I'm doing that, and you know, times are going up. Now manager's getting frustrated, whatever. Manager looks out in the lobby, sees that there's trash piled up. Now, due to the coronavirus, barely anybody has gone in the lobby that day. And there's been trash in those cans for at least since the day before. No one has changed the trash cans at all. So I'm like, okay, I'll clean it. So I'll do it later, but right now, because newbies come in now. The new workers come in. And so manager tells me to train them while I'm online. And I'm like, oh, this is okay. I can train them. And there's, I'm gonna call her MC because she's not really, she isn't really doing anything, but she's not really bad at her. She'll do stuff, but she's mediocre, you know, so she's a mediocre coworker, MC. MC was supposed to help with, the girl trainee, GT, girl trainee, and then I'm supposed to help with MT, male trainee. So MC is helping GT for a little bit, and then all of a sudden she disappears. But she comes back a little bit, and I'm like, okay, so maybe she is gonna help. Now, GC he's still, you know, he's still steaming, and I'm like, okay, that's great. But MT he worked at the same restaurant 4 years ago, but everything's changed, so he knows a little bit, but he doesn't remember everything. Ooh. So he has that for him, and it was pretty easy to train him. And GT doesn't know anything about the restaurant we worked at, but she used to work at the same, like, restaurant I worked at before, but not the same restaurant. It's just Dairy Queen, you know what I'm saying? And now she's working with us, and so, you know, the manager starts to complain about the trash again. So I go, I'll get it, because BC is blatantly ignoring it by not even looking at the lobby. You can tell it's like a child, you know, ignoring someone, like, they raise their head and stuff, and they make the pout, like the I'm ignoring you face. That's what she was doing to the lobby. So I get my ass offline, and I say, help, GC help MT, for a minute. I'm gonna run offline real quick. So I go out and I take trash out, and I come back, and, you know, I take the trash out of the bins, and then I drag them to the back, double bag everything, because you're supposed to double bag everything. None of the trash bags were double bagged, so that when I was actually taking the trash out to the garbage, because there was trash overfilling the back, because nobody would do their job, except for GC and the trainees. So I took it out, and then I came back in and I finished cleaning the lobby. But in the midst of cleaning lobby, I had customers come in, and I had to take front because BC would not. She absolutely ignored it. She knew there were customers, she would just ignore it, even though it was her job. She would only take drive because she had the headset. It doesn't matter if you have the headset. She was for taking orders. Her job isn't just to take orders. It's to take orders, get food, not just for drive. It was to take orders, hand food out in drive-thru, take front orders, hand cups out, because, you know, they don't have any cups out there, you know, it's the end lids because Corona. And that's her job. But no, she don't want to do that. So I basically, you know, took the orders, and then this one guy comes in. A guy comes in. He's older. You know, like those people that you see in movies with the homeless people? They wear that certain jacket, but it's all torn up. Yeah, he had that, but it wasn't torn up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't old. He had that certain jacket, though, and he was wearing a beanie. And he looked like one of those people that would hold the sign up in the movies and stuff that would say the end is near, you know? But, so he came in, and then I take his order, cash him out, hand him his change. He goes, "You don't believe in that." And I go, or no, he said, is everybody avoiding it? And I'm like, avoiding what? I'm sorry. Yeah, nobody's come in, so I would assuming he's talking about the coronavirus, which he was. And, then he goes and he said, "You know that's not true, right?" And I'm like, yeah, it is. And he goes, "You shouldn't believe everything on the news." I'm like, it's not just on the news. He's like, "It's not here." I'm like, "It's literally like not even 2 cities away from us." He's like, "Yeah, but it's not here." I'm like, "Okay." He goes, "You know that they're closing down schools and stuff, like, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, to protect the kids." And he goes, "That's dumb." I said, "No, I think that's pretty smart." He goes, "How are kids supposed to learn?" I said, "Online." He goes, what if the kids don't have computers?" I said, "The schools give them computers, especially the high school. They give them computers. If they don't have computers, the school understands it." And that's what I told him. And he's like, "Yeah, but he's stupid." And I'm like, because he just couldn't comprehend. Or like, I just basically like tore down all of his arguments, basically, and he just shut down. And then he turns around with a crate, like he turns around, starts walking away, then turns back around, like whiplashed back at me and said, "Well, I've God on my side, I'm not afraid." I'm like, "Okay, I'm going back to cleaning lobby." So I go back to cleaning lobby, which I have to walk around him for. And he gets his drink or whatever and his food and he leaves. And I'm like, thank the lords. So I come back after cleaning lobby, and it turns out GC is training MT, and then GT, because he can't help GT because GT is on the basically all the way across the line, because she's expediter. It's a whole line. He can't reach her, and he doesn't know much English either. I don't know if I said that. He doesn't know much English. So he's trying to help them, and GT's so confused and angry because she doesn't know what to do, and MT kind of knows what he's doing because he's done this before, so he knows how to make a taco or two, and he's kind of getting it. And so I come back online, and I'm like, "Oh my god, are you guys okay? You guys need help?" Like, 'cause there's food just there, and she doesn't know what to do with it and stuff like that. And I'm like, "Okay, put this, and this in the bag, and then take it to the window. Put whatever's there, like the napkins, the sauces, whatever they need in the bag, and hand it out. Then just leave it. Don't cash the next person out because that's BC's job." So, which we did. We left it, and then BC only came to the window to take an order, and then realized, oh shoot, they haven't had their money taken. They've been sitting there for 7 to 8 minutes. They haven't had their money taken. Oh shit, I should probably do that before I get in trouble. So then GT and MT, I have to go in between them and help them both at the same time, trying to help GC with English so he can help MT with figuring out what's going on. And it was just so chaotic, and GT told me she was irritated with manager and GC, or manager specifically, because manager wasn't doing anything and she wasn't trying to be a manager, and this manager specifically, she always complains that nobody respects her, but she doesn't do anything for anybody to respect her at all, you know. So it's kind of just irritating, and I was so peeved, but so was GT. She had to go out for a smoke, but she dared not go to manager to even ask her to go out for a break. So I went and interrupted manager in her little conversation with whoever the hell she was speaking with, but she wasn't doing her job. I said, "Manager?" And she snaps her head at me and gets a little angry because I interrupted her conversation. I said, "Can GT go out for a smoke for a little bit?" And she goes, yeah, go ahead. Because, whatever. But I help GT clock out for a 10-minute break. I help her clock back in when she's done with her smoke. Food, and then it finally starts to calm down a little bit, and I show them proper ways to do stuff, and how to remember how to read the screen and stuff like that. And it was just awful. It was just awful, and it was all in 2 hours. All in 2 hours. Every single minute of it was just awful. I don't know. That's just the entire story. I wrote a list to speak of it in order, because normally I don't do that in order. But that's just my story for the other day. Oh, and now they're closed down lobby, so now we don't have to worry about lobby as much. But dear Lord. And by the way, if you haven't noticed, I have changed my name multiple times, but I think I might keep the RNS thing, because it's RNS, like my initials, but it's spelled RNS, you know? I'm gonna keep it. I think it's cute and different, and I think it's easier to remember than Ryan is Blobfish or my name is Ryan, you know what I'm saying? So that's it. Bye.